Hi, I'm Dee McGill, owner-founder of LDL Hair Extensions. Welcome to It's About to Get Hairy, the podcast that takes you on a journey through the world of hair extensions. Whether you're a hair enthusiast, a stylist, or simply curious about the art of transforming hair, this is the show for you. Join us as we deep dive into the fascinating world of extensions, exploring the latest trends, techniques, and innovations. From clip-ins to handmade wefts, we'll uncover the industry secrets on all things hair. So sit back, relax, and let's embark on a hair-raising adventure together. Welcome to It's About to Get Hairy.
If I can be anything, I think I'm gonna be me.
Hey, welcome back to It's About to Get Hairy. I'm Dee from LDL International Hair Extensions, and I have with me today my beautiful Pauline Vassiliou, who is my master extensionist, and welcome.
I'm her everything.
And
Thanks
my
for
everything.
having me.
And my everything. She is my everything. We've got Sean gesturing over at me as well, saying, I'm
Don't
here.
forget me. Don't forget me.
I'm here. Sean is our podcast producer as well as LDL's content creator. Welcome, Sean.
Howdy, everybody.
Welcome back to It's About to Get Hairy. We've got another question and answer podcast for you today. Our beautiful clients have written into our email, which I'll let you know again if you did want us to answer some questions in future podcasts. The email address is info@ldlinternational.com.au, or you can simply send in your questions to our Instagram, which is LDL_international, and we will attention them in future poddies. So do you want to take over?
Let's do this.
Sean?
All right. So we have question number one. Is it true if you pluck a grey hair, 3 more will grow?
Sean laughs at this one. It's so true. It's a myth. It's a myth.
Is it a myth
It
or is
is
it
a
truth?
myth. It is a
I'm going
myth.
to say I don't know. I tell everybody it does.
No.
Don't pluck it. Don't pluck it.
She's told me not to pluck my grey hair.
Right.
So
But is it? Do you have the truth?
I
Do
do
you
have the
hairy
I
truth?
do have the hairy truth.
Tell me.
Oh, that's exciting. I have investigated. I've never believed it.
Okay.
It's not true. So your follicle just produces one hair. So if you're plucking
Right.
out the one hair, just one more is going to grow. I guess the thing that happens is, and why people say it, is because they probably just notice it more. As the grey hair is growing out, it will tend to stick up.
Gotcha.
That's what it is. That's where it comes from. But I think it's definitely an urban legend.
Do we have the facts on this?
I Googled
because
it.
I don't know.
Google told
Oh,
me.
Well, if Google said it, it must be true. What I had always heard though was that understanding, yes, that you've just plucked that
Yeah.
one hair, but it's also a trauma for your scalp. So it's traumatic, therefore sending other hairs around it grey.
Stress, that's another one. So stress can cause grey hair. Our body's response to stress.
So by plucking the grey hair, did the other little hairs get stressed and all turn grey?
No,
in
they
horror?
weren't. No.
Well,
No.
I'm going to chime in and say I had one grey hair on my goatee
Yes.
last
Did you
year,
pluck it?
and I plucked it.
And
did it-
now he has
And
20.
I have a few now in my goatee.
Wow.
I'm from the facts.
Okay, but you're from the Google facts. So I'm going to I say we need to look into this a little bit more.
Yeah, I reckon.
I think we need to get some research. So we're
We'll
going to come back
investigate.
to you. We will investigate. Pauline
Further.
is an absolute no. I don't know. I need more information.
I
And
also
going
need
by
more info. So if it is true, I'm going to pluck a couple of hairs on my head and see if my head grows.
Well,
back.
There we go.
I
We
do
can use
pluck my
Sean.
grey hairs out.
Okay, well, so perhaps, Sean, we're going to pluck a grey hair today and then we're going to come back next time and see whether he has 8 or whether the one grey hair grows back.
Yeah.
We'll do a video of this for our listeners so you can jump across.
So,
if at any time you do want to see the visual, you can do that by joining our Instagram, LDL_international.
Yes.
Just wanted to throw that in.
All right, so going on to the next question.
Oh, we're finished with the grey.
Yeah,
are
we're done
finished.
because
Right.
I'm running away from this plucking
Okay.
my
Okay.
hair on camera. That ain't happening. So the question is, do you get a lunch break being a hairdresser?
N-O. No. Well, we try. We had this conversation the other day.
Yeah.
Though. I feel as though I can only speak for our salon.
Yes.
We certainly we do encourage all of our team to eat. However, as hairdressers, you can have unforeseen circumstances thrown at you at all times. Sometimes colours take longer than you
Yeah.
first thought. Sometimes clients can come late. Lots of things can occur. So we don't strategically book in the lunch break. But also, we don't want to sit down and have a big bowl of pasta
No,
for lunch and
I
then go back
can't.
to doing hair.
I want to sleep if I have. So I personally have
Coffee.
coffee, but lots of little breaks throughout the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I'm ahead of my schedule, if things are working out, I kind of just take
little breaks.
little breaks when I can.
Same.
Yeah, okay.
And
Yeah.
that's kind of, I think, I feel like that's how I was my entire career as
Yes.
well. Sitting down, I think hairdressers typically we're fast, very fast moving, and we're always running by a schedule and by time.
Yes.
So, yeah, sitting down for an hour. I wouldn't know what to do with myself for an hour of my day.
No.
Does that even exist? An hour in a day?
That's an old school kind of thing, the whole 1 hour break. And then I remember it went down to half an hour.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Yes, true. You're
Yeah.
showing my age.
Yeah, I only ever knew of
Jesus.
half an hour. What's 1 hour?
So 1 hour was back.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
sure my
back
age
in the
is
day.
old.
Yeah.
So back in the
Yeah.
old days, 1 hour break.
Was your
That
lunch
was the
break.
thing.
And it came
Yeah.
into you get 30 minutes.
And
break.
2:15 because
so
you
that's
didn't
what
get.
I knew. Okay,
Yeah.
got it now.
So now you get your 15 minutes and your 15 minutes and then your half an hour equaling
Yes.
your hour.
Right.
I'm going to say as a general rule, your hairdressers, I'll never forget a story told to me by another fellow hairdresser that said that she used to eat her lunch on the toilet.
Oh, I know. poor Bubby.
Yeah. Honestly, she did because we are certainly not like that. We definitely work together as a team. When we can see one of our poor little girls drowning, we'll often say, "Okay, go eat,"
Yeah.
and we'll take over and obviously we'll help. But she came from an extremely busy salon that were quite known to double book her column all the time as well, and just to sustain herself, she'd go to the bathroom and eat her lunch
And cry.
Wow.
and cry.
And cry.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The we built tough.
The
The hair industry is it's tough. Tough.
Wow. We could do a whole episode on that
We could,
question.
we could. But typically, no, we don't get
Yeah.
a lunch break.
All right. Okay. What else we got? Can I do my regrowth at home? I don't even
No,
I have-
no, I'm joking. I'm joking.
You can.
You can.
Within reason. Like, we obviously don't want you to go to
Do a half a
Safeway
head of
and
foils?
Well, absolutely not. But also use a box dye. So
No.
some of our clients do those that are more grey and don't like seeing their grey when it comes
Or
at
that
3
require
weeks.
a colour literally every 2 weeks. I mean, it all gets a little bit excessive if you're needing to visit a salon every 2 weeks. So I
Yes.
think in those set of circumstances, we like to help out our clients and we'll give them the exact formula.
and show them how to apply it at home. And
Also a huge bane of contention because I remember through lockdowns there were salons that were giving formulas
yes.
and other salons sort of saying, well, no, they're working with a chemical and that advice shouldn't be given. So another touchy subject.
Yeah, a bit controversial, I think.
Yeah. But I think for the most part, of course, we are the professional. I'll always tell a client to come in, but there are always exceptions to every rule. So I also understand from a client perspective that going to a hairdressing salon once every fortnight is not great. And there's only so much a root touch-up spray can do.
Yes.
That was actually really informative for me.
Yeah.
Because even you listening to working with chemicals, isn't it very similar to just buying dye from stores though? Is it not the same kind of
No.
chemicals or very different?
They are chemicals, the ones that you buy from
the supermarket.
the supermarket or wherever it is you're buying them from. Yes, they are chemicals.
Well, they're both chemicals.
But I think there's more to it. So it's how it's done. It's, I guess, the education. It's choosing the right colour. A lot of those
I stick to
supermarket
two, I think,
products-
with supermarket products as well. A lot of, I've got to be careful what I say, but a lot of things are made very cheaply and poorly. In hairdressing today, we've got really weak levels of peroxide. So we've got 1.9%, whereas most of the box dyes are a 20 vol.
Yes.
and
And they're
they're
high in
6%.
ammonia as well.
Peroxide, but it's not perhaps even necessarily, the box dye itself. It's the consumer hoping to achieve the same result that you're going to achieve in a salon by just picking up a packet of hair dye from the supermarket. I don't know, like I always say, everything has its place. For some people it suits some people. Some people do a really fantastic job.
That's true.
And some people should stay away from the supermarket. It's some people
Definitely
just should
based
stay away.
Individually, like essentially know your client.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, always. But yeah, hairdressers are trained. They're trained. Things can go wrong. Colours, you might think that a colour's going to do X, Y, and Z, and it can react differently. Everything matters. What the client's washing their hair in at home alters how the product's going to react.
I've watched you guys on the salon. I'm like,
Yeah.
it blows my mind how different a color can come out.
Right.
Yes.
Just a few little formulas.
Right.
Difference in the formula. So yeah.
So
Yeah, so-
always keep things with professionals, I think.
Yes.
I agree. All right, cool. All right, let's move on. So this one's a cool one.
Yeah.
How many hairs do we shed a day?
So I say anywhere between 50 and up to 100 hairs a day, naturally. But we also deal with a lot of hair loss people, and for those people, they can definitely shed more. So I think it depends what's going on with the person.
Yes.
Again, no kind of exception to the rule. I don't shed a lot of hair. I'm on the lesser scales. I certainly don't count them, but I also have had clients in the past that have
Count
counted
them.
and that have literally saved them in little plastic bags
Wow.
and to
Brought
count
them.
Yep, and to count the amount of shedding. So some people get very serious about their hair fall and shed.
I think as when you remove extensions, you tend to see it as it is with your maintenance appointments. But when clients that don't have extensions are just washing and brushing and being
don't see it
as
as
they are,
much.
you don't see it as much.
Some people will. If you're a heavy shedder, like a lot of people will see it in their plugs and their
Yes.
sinks, but if you're on the lighter scale of shed that you probably wouldn't see it as much. But yeah, anywhere between 50 to 100 hairs a day,
Yes, every single day.
every day. Sean,
That's a lot.
Sean sheds nothing because he's
Sean-
bald.
Yeah, I did all my shedding in like 5
day.
years of my life. Yeah, it was just kinda,
it never grew back.
this is a lot of hair.
It's a lot of hair.
But we do have a lot of hair on our head.
Yeah,
So in the grand scheme of things, it's
well, not
actually-
everybody.
Not sure.
I was dead staring you right.
Actually, either.
That's true.
All right,
Those
cool.
little baby fine head people like me.
There's
Yes.
another question here. Will extensions pull my hair out?
Great question. Great question. So again, I'm going to answer for myself and obviously what we do. So our method, no, it doesn't pull out all of your hair. I'm really honest.
Yeah, you are.
Really honest. So myself, I've been wearing hair extensions for 30 years. I have worn all kinds of hair extensions. I've worn tapes, I've worn singular methods, I've worn poorly done wefts, I've worn a lot. And back in the original day, they pulled out my hair.
Yeah.
But I guess what I've learnt is there were many factors around that. It wasn't typically just the extensions. So I also, for me, with the training in our own team, for me, if I ever come across somebody that has balding or severe damage from hair extensions, I see it as a lack of education, but I also see it as neglect from the stylist themselves. Typically, you won't get a bald spot, won't occur in one sitting. It's something that occurs over time and things not being addressed as they happen. Hair extensions can create a little bit of damage. And I'll even say in the method that we provide, extensions will create a little bit of damage, but no more damage than bleaching your hair or brushing your hair. I think people neglect to realise one of the major causes of breakage in hair is actually brushing it.
Correctly brushing it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think everything creates a little bit of damage. Should you ever get to the point where you've worn hair extensions and you've lost 3/4 of the amount of hair on your head? Absolutely not. Sadly, in our industry, there are poor application methods available. And it's something when I consult with people, I tell them to have multiple consultations. I show them, I guess, the difference, the standout difference I believe with our method is the actual section of hair that we take. So we take quite a thick section of hair. And this is a great question coming off the back of the last question, which
Yeah.
is how many hairs do we shed a day? So the reason we're taking a thick section of hair is to allow for that natural shed to fall away, but still have that section be unaffected. So I always use myself as the muse as well, I guess, because I've been wearing our method of extensions for 18 years.
Wow.
Permanently.
Yep.
So my extensions, of course, come out every 6 weeks and then they get relifted and they go back on the exact same spot. So if they were ripping out all of my hair, it's quite simple. I just physically would have nothing to attach it to at this point in time. And my hair underneath is actually fine. So I don't have a lot of it all over. But my hair is actually the greatest it's ever been wearing these extensions.
If anything,
So-
she damaged her hair more recently by bleaching
Bleaching
it
it.
multiple times.
I bleached it. We touched on that earlier as well. I bleached my hair 3 times in 1 week,
Yes.
which is never a recommendation. And so I'm
No.
suffering. I'm getting more breakage from that than
Yes,
I am
you
from
are.
from wearing my extensions.
Yes.
My extensions is protecting my poor little baby hair underneath. So like anything, always go to a professional. And always please have multiple consultations and take in questions with you as well.
Yes.
Because one thing I probably noticed in my own hair extension journey was that I always noticed that when I had questions, my questions couldn't be answered. So I feel as though that's something that's really important. It's a little bit finding a good car mechanic. You really want to ensure that he understands cars.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So
yes.
it's the same with your hair extensions. You want to make sure that they understand hair extensions.
Love it.
Love it.
Moving on to more hair questions.
Yes.
How quick does my hair grow?
Do you want to answer or do you want me to answer?
I can answer.
You answer.
1 centimetre a month is average. Also, in summer, your hair actually grows quicker than in winter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like a
so
little
the-
seedling
it
that
is.
grows like a plant.
Oh,
Everything grows a little bit more with the sun.
Well, that's exactly it,
Yeah.
essentially. Yeah.
wow. Okay. I had
Sean's hair no longer grows 1
I
centimetre per
stop wearing
month.
caps and just see if the sun brings it back.
Right.
Well, you actually probably should stop wearing caps every day because you are not giving your hair a chance to grow. So caps actually do cause a lot of damage.
Hmm.
There you
Just
go.
a little
There's me while I'm
FYI.
wearing a cap
FYI.
indoors. All right, cool. Will rosemary oil help my hair grow?
Over to you, Pauline, on this one. The rosemary
Probably
oil.
Another myth, is it? Or
Has it been proven? I believe there has been a couple of studies done on it where results did vary. Some groups did notice a growth in hair, others didn't.
So on that, if anybody has used the product,
Yes.
write in and let us know. I'm really interested to hear.
I actually do get this question a lot. I always answer it the same way in that there's no harm in trying it. I've heard some people rave on about it. I've heard others say it didn't do anything for them. There is nothing wrong with trying it. So,
Unless you're allergic to it.
well, yeah. That might be something wrong.
Yes.
Just make sure you don't have any allergies.
Allergies.
But I don't see any harm in trying it.
I guess that's the same for, lots of products.
Yeah.
There's so many products on the market today in
It's like-
trying
it's-
to grow.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're pretty much saying what's the worst that could happen?
Essentially,
It's
yeah.
either gonna help
It's
or
just a
nothing.
natural oil. So, I mean, I'd much rather a client try a natural oil than a chemical shampoo or whatever
course.
it is.
Of course.
Okay, so how about we move into people coming into the salon, time to see you.
Yes.
Should they be bringing inspo pics to their hairdresser?
Yes, if their hairdresser is going to be honest with the outcome, yes. I do. I ask my clients to bring me inspo pics, and the reason that I ask them to bring it is because I feel as though even though I like to think that I have very clear communication, sometimes we don't always have that clear communication. So for me, bringing in the picture is just backing up what we're talking about. What I always find interesting about people bringing pictures in for hair extensions is that I'll ask them to bring 4 to 5 pictures, and what I notice is there is always a common theme. So the pictures are always very similar. So that for me is very helpful in that shows me the thickness and the length that they typically want. I'm also very truthful. So if people bring in, a lot of people bring in coloured inspo that with hair extensions perhaps isn't going to work for whatever the reasons are, I will say, no, it's not going to look like that. Or yes, we can certainly get you to there, but I am very clear that it may take two sessions or whatever it might be, or if it's achievable in the first session, of course. Where I think that there's grey area is some people do bring in inspo pics and the hairdresser will say, yes, absolutely, we can achieve that today. So the client goes in really honing in on that picture and then the result isn't the same. And I feel as though that is when you can get the unhappy client.
Yes.
So I always have the saying that I love to forget, which I like to under-promise, over-deliver. So that has always been my motto, because that way I've got room and for the client to obviously be super happy for what we've created. So, yeah, for me, short answer is yes. I actually think inspo pics are really helpful.
I think so. I think it also helps. A lot of clients will say a colour is auburn or I think even just in terms of colour.
Because we all see colour differently.
Yeah.
So, always helpful.
Yes.
I can't see anything going wrong with the inspo pic unless we can't do it.
It's nice to get insight on that. Okay, here we go. Should I tell my hairdresser if I don't like something she has done?
Yes. Yes.
100%
Yes.
I understand the fear, I guess, behind it a little bit.
Yeah, but I educate my client in a consultation too. I think people forget, like it's a union.
Yes.
It's
a relationship.
It's a relationship between two people. Communication is key and everything. If you're not happy with something that your hairdresser has done, of course deliver it in a positive manner, but you should be working together to get the same outcome. And I will say hairdressers as a general rule are people pleasers. We're in the feel-good industry. We get up in the morning to make our people look and feel beautiful. We do not get up in the morning to have our client not like what we just did. So yes, please be honest with your hairdresser. I think like anything, it's like buying a dress from a clothing store and, it being faulty. If you go back to the store and you're aggressive or angry about it, you're probably not going to be met with the same level of customer service. But I think a hairdresser and client relationship is a really special one.
I agree.
I really do. I think, we're in an industry that we are close. We're really close to our clients. I certainly know that I can talk for myself and I'm very close to my clients.
It's a safe space, I think.
And creating that space and I definitely have educated my own team in we do need to create a safe space for a person for them to feel like they can actually tell us everything. So yes, please tell your hairdresser if you're not happy. They should be able to speak freely to you.
Yes.
I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Should always be honest.
Honesty is the best
It's hard.
policy.
I feel like it's hard. I get it too because I think, we've got our own clients are beautiful and they feel like somebody said to me the other day, they don't like to complain.
No one likes to complain.
No, it's not a nice.
It also could be just the fear of an awkward situation.
Yeah, which is again why I can understand why
sometimes they don't.
They don't.
But I have people come to me in consultation and I always ask the question because we get a lot of hairdressers that recommend our services. Yes. I always say, do you have a hairdresser? Some of them say, yes, my hairdresser recommended me. Yep. If their hairdresser has recommended them to us, I say, great, stay with that hairdresser and we become your extensionist. Then some people say, oh, yeah, I used to love my hairdresser, but, I'd had a bad colour job and I always say, did you talk to your hairdresser?
And they'll say no.
And they say no. And I will actually, I pep talk them. I'm like a counsellor. So I try and get their little butts back to their hairdresser because, again, I know that the hairdresser doesn't want that outcome either.
Yeah.
We want to retain our clients. We want our clients to be happy. So communication always is key.
Yes.
Always.
Okay, here's a couple more questions for you guys. I guess it's a little bit more about aftercare. How bad is supermarket shampoo really?
again, your shampoo and conditioner products that are sold in your chemists and your supermarkets, anywhere, I guess, of
Not naming any names.
No, not naming names, but I guess mass produced.
It's the mass production is on a cheaper scale.
Cheaper scale, exactly, do contain your hidden nasties. So a lot of them do contain sulfates.
Yes.
Which can actually block your hair follicle as well over a long use of time. Essentially, a long use of time. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here?
Pauline's gotten tongue-tied. Over long-term use.
There we go.
Yes.
So do always invest in a good quality product.
Always professional. I always say just go to your hairdresser. And I'm old school and I feel like this is so sad because back in the day you finished work and you drove to your hairdresser and she formulated what you were going to be using. And today's world, things have changed a lot. Everything's so readily available online. So for the most part, you've got clients trying to go through, oh, that's a pretty bottle, so I'll buy that. But
it's based off of the bottle, 100%.
Yeah, or the brand name, or I guess blindly self-subscribing. Not subscribing, prescribing. Subscribe to my YouTube channel that I don't have. Prescribing themselves. So, I think it brings it back to talk to your hairdresser and always get your hairdresser to prescribe the best thing for your hair. Yeah. I always think you'll see better results in that way.
Cool. I think we've got 2 more questions we can do before we wrap up.
Yeah. Okay. 2 more.
This one's
2 more for now.
2 more for now.
Should I be using a UV protector?
Yes.
Yes.
That was short and sweet. Everyone
listening? Elaborate.
Yes.
Yes. Well, so again, I guess what I've noticed lately is a lot of your newer brands and up-and-coming brands are going off of the same basis as skincare now.
Yes.
So it's essentially skincare for your hair.
Our hair is delicate.
Sunscreen for your hair.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Definitely.
So yes.
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 Yes. That's a hell yes.
We got lots of yeses, Gar.
Yes.
And all right, let's wrap up with this one.
Sure.
Does stress make my hair fall out and go grey?
Yes.
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 I feel like that was 2 questions.
Yes. So
does
break it
stress
down.
Cause hair loss? Absolutely. Probably one of the number 1 causes for hair loss is stress.
And everyone carries stress differently. So one body's response to stress, it does not necessarily mean that it's going to happen to everyone.
Of course.
But yes, ultimately you can get, yes.
And what about, I'm not as sure as does stress turn your hair grey potentially?
Yes. From my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, I could be wrong on this, but I believe and what I've known to be true is that it's your body's response to trauma and it actually shocks the hair follicle and changes its colour.
I will say I had a pug that when we first got him, they say that pugs shouldn't be left for more than a 4-hour period.
Yeah.
And I used to work in a salon in Turak 1 day a week, and we noticed that my pug started going grey and he was only 6 months old.
Oh, he was stressed.
So he was stressed.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we then got him a friend and I stopped working there so I could be with my pug more. I still work, but I started my home salon originally.
Yes.
So that I could be with my pug.
That's a good dry. It's a good what's the word? What's the sentence?
Feel good story?
No.
No?
It was a good down memory lane.
It was a trip down memory
Trip down
lane. I
memory
know
lane.
my beautiful pug is not with us anymore and I love him so much still. Thank you, as always, for writing into us. Thank you for listening to another episode of The Hairy Truth, and we'll be back next time with...
This is about to get hairy.
She said the wrong name. She's been doing so well and tried so hard to learn the name.
Maybe perhaps we should explain for our poor listeners out there that when we were coming up with the podcast name, we were toying with the idea of it's about to get hairy and The Hairy Truth. So for some reason, The Hairy Truth has stuck out in my mind. So that's why I keep getting corrected by these guys. So welcome to another episode of It's About to Get Hairy.
Yes.
Signing off.
Signing off. I am Dee McGill from LDL International with my team, Pauline Vassiliou, Master Extensionist. Bye, Pauline.
Bye.
And Sean, our producer and content creator.
Cheerio, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
If I can be anything, I think I'm gonna be me.